It's a lot more important than I would like to say to travel to these cities. Data guys, we have our own ego. And our ego tells us that we know everything about a city by simply staring at an Excel spreadsheet or a software. I've been humbled over time that that is actually not the case. Data is a fantastic indicator of profit and success and velocity. It doesn't tell the whole story. So one of my examples is that in a different market, put a piece of land in contract. It was in Indianapolis. From the top view portion, it looked really good. It looked like it was the right place to invest in. All the data pointed me to it being great. But some of my mentors, older, smarter people, have basically told me, don't go out and spend millions of dollars of investor money until you actually go out and check this place. So I go there, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm in my rental car. I'm driving around this piece of land. And on the one corner is a store. This is a while back, this is a number of years ago. And there's this basically adult store. And then on the other corner, there's two hookers standing there. And so I basically started investigating. I go around, and then I wait until about 7:30 in the evening. Normally, when you're looking at properties, it's better to look at them in the evening and when it's dark, because you see a lot more. So then I realized that there's a drug den directly opposite this property, and it's been operating for a number of years, and it's well known. And so there's a lot of commercial transactions of the type that I don't like going on in this area. I have not found data in any way to be a substitute for boots on the ground. It just tells me where to direct my boots. Data's been wrong before when I'm doing city selection, and without actually going there and understanding what's happening there, data can be badly wrong. An example I think that resonates with most people is, a while back, my data started showing me extraordinarily large profits in South Chicago, right? So the moment I say South Chicago, you're like, okay, I get it, right? So South Chicago was showing me that the prices of homes versus what the rents were, there was a disconnect. I was like, how can anyone earn this much money? This is still only 15 miles from downtown, right? And I see huge, massively higher rents on the north side of Chicago, and I see massively lower rents on the south side. And I'm like, there's a disconnect here. So when you show up there and you start talking with the people there, you realize that that area has some of the highest delinquency in the United States. So you might get high rents. You might get rents much higher than what you would normally get for an equivalent property in other areas, but you don't get all of that money because delinquency is very high. And also, maintenance is extremely high, and theft is extremely high. People are literally stealing copper wires from your rental property. And so that is not something that data shows unless you magically create a way of showing that. So you've got to go out there and talk with the locals and really understand these numbers. You got to sit down with 3 property managers and say, this is what my spreadsheets are showing, and it's hard to believe this. And then they start explaining things to you. That is an area with extremely high levels of crime and a population that's fleeing because, and I'm not a big fan of Chicago in general because I believe that it's a Ponzi scheme. And again, I get in trouble for saying this, but I don't mind saying this. Chicago is the greatest Ponzi scheme in US history because they borrow billions of dollars to pay interest on billions of dollars that they've already borrowed. And I very, very much like to stay away. So we have a methodology of staying away from city-states that basically borrow massive amounts of money to pay interest on other loans. That's a Ponzi scheme. And so we stay away from that. So South Shore and South Chicago has been affected by this Ponzi scheme because the city keeps massively hiking water charges. So cost of water has doubled. Cost of electricity has doubled because the city needs to make more money because they're essentially caught in a Ponzi scheme high interest trap. And those are also things that I like to understand. I like to understand how well run is a city. And one of the things that I get in trouble for saying I don't have the kind of filters that I should have for social media is not all US cities are the same. That's what data says. Not all of them are well run. Some of them are really awful in the way that they're run. So I have to factor that into my data because I don't want a city to do something really stupid while I've invested $50 million of my investors' money into a city or a region.